Hi dear fans, friends and subscribers, welcome back to your usual cricket show, the Cricket Happening Show, and I'm out here to talk about day 2 in the first test match between Australia and Pakistan. And what a day we had today. Yesterday we saw that Azhar Ali and Younis Khan went on to score a century, and today Younis Khan absolutely once again piling on the records as I expected. And as I said, this was a flat pitch. Younis Khan is having loads of confidence. There's no doubt about that, and that's what precisely was. As I said, once again the bowlers, Australian bowlers, were made to really toil on this lifeless pitch, and which ended up with Pakistan raising a mountainous score of 570 runs for 6 wickets declared. Yesterday we saw Azhar Ali and Younis Khan score centuries. Today Younis Khan went on to score a double century, his 5th double century in Test cricket. What to say? Younis Khan, in the evening of his career, he's getting into prolific form, and I'm sure he's going to really worry the opposition, every opposition, because he's looking pretty good with his batting. And not only that, the Pakistani skipper, because of his teammates who are actually supporting him well in the batting department, Misbah also took the confidence that Younis Khan had and scored a century. That was probably after a gap of a year that Misbah has gone on to score a century. He made 101 and Pakistan declared it 570 for 6. Just talking through the day here, Pakistan started off with their overnight score of Azhar Ali and Younis Khan on a commanding 304 for 2. And well, even the new ball could not have any effect. As I said, the pitch was lifeless. There's nothing in the pitch. It's all a matter of the batsmen actually applying themselves and waiting for the loose ball to hit. And that's what precisely happened. Azhar and Younis Khan just carried on in the same fashion that they did yesterday. But finally, the breakthrough was, there was an early breakthrough. In fact, for Australia, they had problems. They lost Brad Haddin pretty early on the second day, as he actually jammed his shoulder and he couldn't actually take any further part, in the sense David Warner was the keeper, and David Warner, once Haddin went and Warner came to actually keep the wickets, that was the time the Australians struck, with Mitchell Starc actually getting rid of Azhar Ali for 109 with 6 fours. Probably Australia would have thought that they had dismissed Azhar Ali and they could probably rest a bit, but that rest that they had was something which was absolutely confounded, as they had to really wait for Younis Khan or Misbah to make a mistake, and the score went on the score went on rapidly. Misbah, well, he played in an aggressive manner compared to Younis Khan, because he had the freedom to play the strokes due to, one is, as I said, the pitch there's nothing in the pitch, and Misbah continued to stroke the ball fluently and sweetly. Younis Khan continued his flicks, his pulls, his beautiful drives through the offside, and both of them started putting together a huge partnership once again, and this time it was a 181 run partnership for the 4th wicket, which took the Pakistan score past the 500 mark, and that was the time it was the wicket fell of Misbah, who actually would have never done that, but probably fancied his chances and he wanted to actually deposit Smith. He came down the wicket and he was caught and bowled by Smith for 101 with 10 fours and 1 6. Younis Khan was the next to go, but Younis Khan not before completing his 5th double century in Test cricket, as he went on to actually, and this is a shot which really came out due to Pakistan actually trying to accelerate things to ensure a quick declaration. And Younis Khan, probably under the instructions, came down the wicket to Peter Siddle and lost his stumps after making a princely 213 with 15 fours and 2 sixes. And then Asad Shafiq was bowled by Starc for 21 with 1 4 and 1 6. And in the end, when Pakistan declared the innings close after tea time at 574, just it was not tea time actually, just before close of play that they declared, and they gave they had a chance to actually hurled the ball at the Australians, and which they did pretty well. And then Sarfaraz Ahmed was not out on 19 with 3 boundaries. Yasir Shah was not out on 1, and Pakistan, they declared the innings close at 570 for 6 just before close of play. Looking at the bowling, as I said, there's only one person who actually generated some pace and bounce out of the wicket, and that too at one particular time when Mitchell Johnson gave pretty tough time to Younis by generating a lot of bounce. 25 overs, 7 maidens, 59 runs and 1 wicket for Mitchell Johnson. Mitchell Starc, 27 overs, 3 maidens, 2 for 86. Peter Siddle, 31 overs, 8 maidens, 1 for 75. The spinners once again, Nathan Lyon had to really do you have to take do the Bulls work there. He bowled 37 overs, 1 maiden, 154 runs and 1 wicket. Mitchell Marsh, 12 overs, 2 maidens, none for 32. Glenn Maxwell, 16 overs, 2 maidens, none for 78. Michael Clarke bowled 6 overs for 24, and Steven Smith 10 overs, no maiden, 1 for 41. Yesterday we saw that Michael Clarke tried a few things. He changed the field, he got a lot of things done, but nothing really worked out, and it was a similar situation today. Michael Clarke definitely tried his tricks, but out of this lifeless pitch, they couldn't generate anything. And as I said, it is like a feather bed of a pitch right now, and Pakistan were sitting on a mountainous score of 570 for 6 wickets, and they would probably be thinking that this would be the time that Pakistan would have their first ever Test series win after a gap of 20 years. They're definitely closer to their goal, as what they did is that they reduced Australia. But as I said, there were only 5 overs remaining, and with the new ball, Imran Khan produced a magical delivery which actually pitched on the off stump and kept moving away. It was a beautiful leg cutter which was bowled by Imran Khan, the pace bowler. As it was absolutely new, the ball actually pitched on the off stump and swerved away as Chris Rogers was into the shot, and he had actually poked at that ball, and Sarfaraz Ahmed, in fact Chris Rogers was actually rooted to the crease as he poked at the ball, and Sarfaraz Ahmed behind the stumps made no mistake. As he was gone, Chris Rogers caught Sarfaraz Ahmed, bowled Imran Khan for 5, which made the score 21 for 1, and Australia finishing at close of play with David Warner not out on 16 with 3 boundaries. Nathan Lyon, the night watchman, was sent in. He was not out on 1 after facing 6 balls, and Australia replied at close of play on the second day at 22 for 1. They still have 548 runs to go, but what will be the primary aim for Australia would be to get to that follow-on target, and that would be 370 runs to get before they can allow Pakistan to bat again. So Australia had I think they have a hell of a work to do tomorrow, no doubt about it. On the third day, Imran Khan 3 overs, no maiden, 1 for 18, got the magical delivery to Chris Rogers. Mohammad Hafiz 2 overs for 4 runs, and Zulfikar Babar bowled 2 balls. That was the time the umpires decided to draw stumps for the day, as actually there was some bad light, and Australia finished at 22 for 1. So, but also let me tell you, today was Friday here in Abu Dhabi. As you know, in the United Arab Emirates, it's a public holiday, and we had the crowds absolutely flocking to the ground here at the Sheikh Zayed Stadium, and I thought it was a wonderful exhibition for all the local crowd, because there are a lot of expats, Indian and Pakistan expats and other Asian expats there. The Pakistan expatriates who were there would have definitely had a joyful as they watched the Younis Khan and Misbah al-Haq in action. And as I said, for Australia, the pressure is right on them. They have to do something, in the sense they already lost 1 wicket, so Pakistan have definitely gained the initiative after putting up a very huge score on the board. Now the onus will be on Australia, because now what is going to be seen is that this pitch, as I said, is looking lifeless. There are lots of runs to be had, and probably Australia would have thought that if at all Chris Rogers would have not been out, that would have been a good thing, but unfortunately that's not the case. Chris Rogers was an early victim, and so now it all depends on the Australian batsman. One does not know what is the situation of Brad Haddin, because his shoulder is in bad shape, whether he'll be able to contribute. So I think it is going to be a real hell of a work to be done by the Australians. But what is going to be very important, as I have been always saying on this particular lifeless pitch, is your dedication and your application on the pitch. As long as you can stay on the crease, the runs are going to come, no doubt about it. But for Australia, the challenge will be against the spinners, when Zulfikar Babar and Nasir Shah, who have already created an impression by actually in the first Test match, would really like to get a good ball against the Australian batsmen, and Pakistan would hope that they are the ones who are going to do the trick for them once again. And for Australia, one has to see what lessons they have learned after the first Test match, and whether they commit the same mistakes against the spinners or not. But as I said, the pitch is lifeless, there's lots of runs to be had. If Australia can show the dedication and application that the Pakistani batsmen showed, runs are there for the taking. They still have some very good batting to come in the form of David Warner, then they have Stephen Smith, Michael Clarke the captain, Maxwell, Marsh. So there is a lot of still some batting to come. But once again, what Australia have to guard against is the spinners, because when the spinners come on, it would be a different, totally different ball game altogether. But it is going to be interesting to see how the Australians actually shape up against the Pakistani spinners, Zulfikar Babar and Yasir Shah. Well, as far as this particular day is concerned, it's all done here at Sheikh Zayed Stadium in Abu Dhabi, and I'll be there. As you know, tomorrow is a Saturday, it's a late night cricket show where I'll be talking about the third day's play between Pakistan and Australia, and also some other cricket news that's coming in. One is the news that Jesse Ryder of New Zealand, who was absolutely overlooked in a sense because of his lot of indiscipline and a lot of other problems that he had, but one probably feels that New Zealand definitely are having their eyes on Jesse Ryder for sure, because he was selected for the New Zealand A team to play on the Associate Nations. So New Zealand A, he has been selected for the New Zealand A team, and as you know, New Zealand team, the New Zealand proper team is now, after the Test series ends between Pakistan and South Africa, it will be returned for New Zealand to set their foot on the United Arab Emirates, and they would be taking on Pakistan. So Pakistan, as I said, are absolutely on a roll right now as far as this Test series is concerned. Well, dear fans and subscribers, I unfortunately have to end my Cricket Happening show today. It's a short Cricket Happening show, probably going for only 13 minutes. But again, thanks for your company and thanks for regularly watching Cricket Happenings. Your host Ram would like to sign off for the day, saying that tomorrow it is a late night cricket show on a Saturday as usual, and I'll be seeing you tomorrow. Until then, it's goodbye. Thank you.